became an executive director at age 27. Young, woman, Black. Suddenly responsible for raising $4 million a year, privileged to lead a team of 22.
Have you ever witnessed someone underestimated, judged solely on their appearance, only to shock the world with an unforgettable comeback? Today, we bring you the extraordinary story of a Black woman who challenged all expectations, not just with grace, but with unimaginable power. She is not just wealthy, in fact, she is a billionaire. But when she walks into a luxurious hotel, the staff dismiss her based on her skin color, completely unaware of the incredible force standing before them.
Is there a different standard whether for Black women in America, both professionally and socially?
What happens next will leave you shocked, inspired, and questioning how society judges people. How does she respond? And what unforgettable message does she deliver to those who doubted her? Trust us, you won't want to miss the twist that is coming. Ready to find out what happens? Let's dive in. The woman could have caused a scene, but instead she stayed calm and composed. What the hotel staff did not realize was that her quiet exit was not the end of the story. She was not walking away for good. When she returned, it was not just as a guest. She came back as the hotel's new owner. And what she did after that will truly leave you in awe. So, make sure you stay with us until the very end. It all began on a sunny afternoon when this remarkable woman stepped into the luxurious hotel. The grand chandeliers sparkled above her as she made her way across the gleaming marble floors to the front desk. She was not dressed in fancy designer outfits or lots of shiny jewelry. Instead, she wore a simple sweater, a pair of jeans, and comfortable shoes, an outfit as unassuming as her demeanor. But underneath that simple look was a story that would change everything about that hotel. The woman approached the front desk with a kind and polite attitude. She offered the receptionist a warm smile and said in a gentle tone, "Hello, I would like to book a suite for the night." At first, the receptionist greeted her with the same cheerful energy, but that welcoming expression quickly changed. As the receptionist glanced at the woman, her gaze shifted from friendly to judgmental. She took a moment to scan her from head to toe, examining her simple outfit, a cozy sweater, jeans, and comfortable shoes. To her, the woman did not fit the image of someone who could afford the hotel's luxurious and pricey suites. Instead of maintaining her professionalism, the receptionist allowed her doubt to show. Her smile disappeared, replaced by a skeptical look that seemed to say, "Are you sure you are in the right place?" She did not know. The woman standing before her was not just any ordinary guest. The receptionist's tone turned cold and detached as she said, "We are fully booked." Her words were sharp, almost dismissive, and clearly meant to send the woman away. The woman's expression faltered slightly, her brow furrowing in confusion. However, she remained calm and composed. She knew for a fact that what the receptionist had said was not true. Before coming to the hotel, she had checked online and had seen that several rooms were still available for booking. Keeping her voice polite and steady, she said, "Are you sure? I noticed earlier that you had several rooms open." Her words were measured, giving the receptionist a chance to correct herself. Instead of reconsidering, the receptionist's attitude shifted even further. Her eyes narrowed as if she felt challenged, and a flicker of irritation crossed her face. She seemed unwilling to admit her mistake or even check the system. It was clear she had made a snap judgment about the woman and was not about to change her opinion. What she did not realize was that her assumptions would soon backfire in the most dramatic way. The receptionist snapped back, her tone sharp and unwelcoming. "No, we don't have anything left," she said curtly, barely meeting the woman's gaze before glancing away in a dismissive manner. Her body language made it clear that she had no intention of helping, regardless of what the hotel's booking system might say. The woman stood there, taking in the cold response. It did not take long for her to realize what was really going on. This was not about the hotel being fully booked, but it was about her. She was being turned away, and the reason was obvious: that is her color complexion and simple appearance. Nearby, other hotel employees noticed the exchange. Some glanced over briefly before returning to their tasks, while others whispered among themselves, their hushed voices carrying undertones of curiosity or quiet disapproval. But none of them stepped forward to intervene. To them, it seemed like just another routine moment of subtle discrimination, a scene they had likely witnessed before and chosen to ignore. Yet for the woman at the center of it all, this was not something she could simply walk away from. That hotel's staff don't know that this moment of injustice would set the stage for a powerful and unforgettable comeback. The woman felt a pang of disappointment deep in her chest. This was not just about being told there were no rooms available. It was clear she was being treated as if she did not belong there at all. The sting of rejection was sharp, but she refused to let it show. Instead of arguing or making a scene, she chose a different path. With a soft, graceful smile, she looked at the receptionist and said, "Thank you." Her voice was calm and composed, betraying none of the hurt she felt. Without another word, she turned on her heels and walked out of the hotel, her steps steady and confident. She did not glance back, nor did she let the whispers and stares from others faze her. On the outside, she appeared calm and collected, as though she had accepted what had just happened. But on the inside, something far greater was unfolding. Her mind was already racing, forming a plan that would not only address the way she had been treated, but would also send a powerful message. This was not the end of her story. In fact, it was just the beginning of something extraordinary. This was not the first time she had experienced the sting of racism, and deep down, she knew it probably would not be the last. For years, she had faced prejudice and judgment because of the color of her skin. But this time, something felt different. She was not going to let it slide. This moment of injustice was not just another instance to brush off. She had worked too hard and come too far to accept such treatment without fighting back. After years of tireless effort, she had built her wealth from the ground up, climbing her way to the top with determination and strength. Now, she had something she had not always had: the power to make real, meaningful change. As she walked down the bustling city street, her mind was racing. The gears in her head turned with purpose, each step driving her closer to an idea that was forming in her mind. If the hotel staff thought she was not good enough to stay in their luxurious establishment, then maybe it was time to show them exactly who she was and just how wrong they were. This was not just about proving a point. It was about giving a powerful lesson, not just to that hotel, but to everyone who had ever underestimated someone based on appearances. The woman was ready to turn this moment of discrimination into an unforgettable lesson, one that no one would soon forget. "I won't just stay in that hotel," the woman thought to herself, her resolve growing stronger with each passing moment. "I'll own it." The idea was not just a fleeting thought, it became her mission. Over the next few weeks, life at the hotel carried on as usual. The staff went about their daily routines, greeting new guests, checking people in, and ensuring the luxury experience the hotel was known for. To them, the incident with the woman was nothing more than a minor moment, quickly forgotten in the hustle and bustle of their work. They did not give her another thought. As far as they were concerned, she was just another guest who did not fit their assumptions of who belonged in a place like that. They had no idea she was working quietly behind the scenes, preparing for a move that would shake the very foundation of their workplace. Then, one day, everything changed. The staff was called into the lobby for an urgent meeting. The atmosphere was tense, filled with murmurs and curious glances as they gathered near the reception desk. No one knew what was going on, but the air felt different, almost electric, as if something monumental was about to happen. What followed would leave them utterly speechless. The hotel manager stood at the front of the room, his expression tense and uneasy. He adjusted his tie, cleared his throat, and began to speak, his voice betraying a hint of nervousness. "We have an important announcement," he said, pausing to let the words sink in. "The hotel has been sold and the new owner will be arriving soon." A wave of murmurs swept through the room as the staff exchanged curious glances. A new owner? What would this mean for their jobs, their routines, their future? Questions buzzed in their minds, but no one dared to ask them aloud. At the front of the group, the receptionist who had dismissed the woman weeks ago shifted uncomfortably. She played with her hands, feeling more and more uneasy. She could not explain why, but something about this announcement felt unsettling. It was as if an invisible weight hung in the air, pressing down on her more than anyone else. Then, with a soft creak, the large wooden doors to the conference room began to swing open. The staff turned in unison, their eyes fixed on the entrance as they waited to see who their new boss would be. And then she appeared. The same woman they had turned away without a second thought just weeks ago now stood before them. But this time she was different. The simple sweater and jeans were gone. Her presence was commanding, her confidence undeniable. She was dressed in an elegant, tailored outfit that radiated power and sophistication. Her calm, composed demeanor only heightened the impact of the moment. For a brief second, the room was silent, stunned into stillness. The staff, especially the receptionist, could hardly believe their eyes. The woman they had dismissed so easily was now the one holding their futures in her hands. She walked into the room, her presence commanding attention. Every inch of her attire spoke volumes about the strength and determination she held within. The receptionist, who had so casually turned her away just weeks ago, was now frozen in shock. Her face turned pale, and her jaw dropped as she stood there, utterly unable to believe her eyes. She could hardly comprehend what was happening in front of her. The other staff members were not any better. They stared in disbelief, exchanging whispers, trying to process the sudden shift. No one could fathom what they were seeing. The woman, unfazed by the stunned silence around her, smiled gently and greeted them again. "Hello," she said calmly, as if she were just another guest entering the hotel. "I'm your new owner." The room fell into an even deeper silence. It felt as if time had stopped. The staff could hardly believe their ears. How could this be? She walked confidently to the front of the room, standing where the hotel manager had just moments ago. With a steady gaze, she looked around at the staff, making eye contact with each person in the room. Her calmness was almost unnerving, yet it commanded respect. "I could have gotten angry when I was turned away," she began, her voice soft yet carrying an undeniable weight. She paused for a moment, letting her words flow. "But instead, I chose to walk away, gather my strength, and plan to come back with a more powerful position." Her words hung in the air, and the staff listened intently, hanging on every syllable. "You see," she continued, her tone steady, "I don't believe in anger or revenge. What I believe in is change." A quiet anticipation filled the room as she paused again, letting the power of her words settle. "And from this day forward," she said, her eyes unwavering, "this hotel will change." In that moment, the staff understood that nothing would ever be the same again. The woman who had been so easily dismissed was now the one who would lead them into an entirely new era. The staff shifted uncomfortably, exchanging nervous glances with one another, unsure of what would happen next. The tension in the room was thick, and every person wondered how the new owner would respond to the past treatment and what changes she would bring. The woman stood tall, her voice firm and resolute as she spoke, cutting through the uncertainty in the air. "This hotel will welcome every guest with kindness and respect," she declared, her words carrying the weight of authority. "No matter where they come from, no matter what they look like, because every person deserves to feel valued and respected." Her words were powerful, and for a moment, the room was completely still. The staff was silent, absorbing the impact of what she had said. She gave them a moment to reflect before continuing. "I won't fire anyone today," she said, her gaze locking with the receptionist who had turned her away. The receptionist's heart skipped a beat, a mix of relief and guilt flooding her emotions. "Everyone deserves a second chance to grow and do better." As she spoke, the receptionist's eyes began to well up with tears. She could not believe how gracefully the woman was handling the entire situation. After everything that had happened, the new owner wasn't seeking revenge or retribution. Instead, she was offering a chance for growth and change. The woman smiled again, this time more warmly than before. The warmth in her smile contrasted with the coldness that had filled the room earlier. "Let's make this place better for everyone," she said, her voice soft yet filled with determination. In that moment, the staff realized that they were witnessing something extraordinary. The woman was not just a business owner, she was a leader with the vision to create a place where everyone, regardless of their background, would be treated with fairness and dignity. And that vision, they knew, would change the hotel for the better. And just like that, the new owner gave both the hotel and its staff a fresh start, filled with the promise of change and growth. Over time, the hotel became known for more than just its luxurious accommodations. It gained a reputation for its kindness, compassion, and commitment to treating everyone with respect. Guests from all walks of life were welcomed with open arms, no matter where they came from or what they looked like. The staff gradually learned the immense value of treating every person with dignity, and they saw firsthand how kindness can transform not just individuals, but an entire business. The woman's story became a powerful reminder of how real change can happen, not through anger or retaliation, but through purposeful action. She demonstrated to the world that it's possible to rise above hatred and discrimination, choosing instead to lead with empathy and kindness. By doing so, she taught a valuable lesson that no one in that hotel would ever forget. Her actions showed that one person's decision to stand up and make a change can ripple out and inspire many others. The impact of her choice was felt far beyond the walls of that hotel. It became a lesson in leadership, compassion, and the power of second chances. It was a tale of strength, resilience, and success that no one expected. As she walked through the doors, she carried with her a journey filled with challenges and triumphs that would leave everyone in shock. Now, imagine you were in her place. How would you have handled the situation? Would you have taken the high road, or would you have reacted differently? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, stay tuned with us for more inspiring stories that change the way we think and inspire us to be better.